In 2001, the video game world was eagerly awaiting the release of Metal Gear Solid 2: Sons of Liberty. Fans couldn't wait to step back into the shoes of the iconic SolidSnake after the critical and commercial success of Metal Gear Solid on the PlayStation. The trailers, gameplay demos, and promotional materials all reinforced the idea that players would be continuing the story as Snake, engaging in stealth action and military intrigue. But Hideo Kojima, the mastermind behind the Metal Gear series, had a different plan. A grand deception that would change gaming forever. The setup. A perfect bait and switch. From the very beginning, everything about the marketing pointed towards Snake being the main character. The trailers showcased classic Snake sneaking through environments, his familiar voice cracking dry one-liners, and the general feel of a direct sequel. Demos allowed players to control Snake aboard a cargo ship, mirroring everything fans wanted and expected. Kojima and his team went out of their way to ensure that the game everyone thought they were buying was exactly what they got, for the first couple of hours. The switch. Enter Raiden. Then, Metal Gear Solid 2 flips the script. After the game's opening chapter on the tanker, a section entirely featuring SolidSnake, the game abruptly shifts to a new setting, the Big Shell. Here, the protagonist is not Snake, but a new character, Raiden. A rookie agent with a pretty boy appearance, Raiden was the polar opposite of everything that fans had come to expect from the grizzled veteran Snake. Gone were Snake's gruff voice and tough demeanor, replaced by Raiden's softer tone and inexperienced personality. The shift was so jarring that many players believed it to be a temporary change. Some thought that Raiden would just be a secondary character, someone you would control for a brief segment before getting back to the real action with Snake. But Kojima committed fully to the ruse. Raiden was the main character for the vast majority of the game, and players had to come to terms with it. The backlash, confusion, anger, and, ultimately, acceptance. The initial reaction was explosive. Players were shocked, confused, and even outraged. Some felt betrayed by the switch. How could they not, when the game they thought they were getting was yanked out from under them? Forum discussions exploded with complaints, and it became clear that Kojima had trolled his fanbase, setting up expectations only to subvert them completely. But in classic Kojima fashion, there was method to the madness. Over time, players began to understand that this twist wasn't just a gimmick, it was a commentary on the very nature of video games and player expectations. By taking players out of their comfort zone and making them experience the story from a fresh, naive perspective, Kojima forced them to see the world of Metal Gear in a new light. Raiden, as a character, represented the player themselves, new to the world of covert operations, bewildered by the conspiracy-laden plot, and constantly questioning what was real and what was not. Legacy. The greatest troll with a purpose. What could have been a disaster turned into one of the most memorable moments in video game history. Kojima had orchestrated one of the biggest trolls ever, not out of malice, but as a deliberate artistic choice. The twist with Raiden became a talking point that helped Metal Gear Solid 2 reach legendary status. Today, it's remembered not just for its gameplay or narrative complexity, but for its audacious storytelling gambit that only a creator like Kojima could pull off. In the end, the bait and switch of Metal Gear Solid 2 stands as one of the most audacious moves in gaming history. It wasn't just a troll. It was a bold statement about storytelling, player agency, and the expectations we bring to our digital heroes.